Making sure we have audio. And I don't. Okay. Just slightly delayed. So today we are going to learn Packet Tracer. I know some of you might have used this before. So let me change my view real quick. Okay, so if you are doing this lab on your computer, your own computer, you have to install Packet Tracer. You can go to the website right here, right? And then I also put a link for you to download. You have to access the Packet Tracer course in order to download. Now, if you are using the school computer, you can just log into your account. If the first time that you access it, you have to create an account. So first, what we'll do is you are going to open up Packet Tracer on your computer. And it's going to come up like this. It's going to show you the login screen from Cisco. You are going to, now, if you don't use your EDU account, you can use the Skills for All, which is like a separate site. And then you can use Cisco Academy. So we're going to use our school email to sign up. So you're going to click that. And then you're going to click login. Now, the first time you're going to have to sign up for an account, and please use your school email account, right? But if you have used Cisco Academy before or NetAcad before, maybe in Cyber Creature in high school, or you've used it for another class, then you can just log into your account. Now, I don't recommend using your your Google or your Gmail account for this particular Cisco Academy because it's gonna link to your RCCD EU license. So we would rather that you would create an account with your school email. Okay. And if you want to use the Skill for All, you can use your personal email for that. So there are two options in how you can navigate. You can access it through here, or you can do Cisco Academy if you have an EDU email account. Okay, so once you click this is gonna pop up, and then you're gonna click log in. And if you don't have an account, click sign up at the bottom. If you have an account, just type in your email and your password. Let me see. Okay, so it tells you that if you are using Packet Tracer version 8.2.2, is supported. So if you're using an older Packet Tracer version, you would then have to use the right side, right? I forgot. I think this is the newer version that they're using here at NBC. But if you are not using the current version, then you have to use the Skills for All. So basically they separated the site. So if you and then if you're using it from other part of the world, you have to follow the instruction here. Okay. So it tells you the read more information there. Everybody okay with login? Okay, so some of you are actually more advanced than I am. Okay, so once you have your packet tracer open, right? What you're gonna do is just like your topology, you are going to drag your PC onto your canvas, and you are going to drag each of these components, and then you will be able to set up your cable and link. So it walks you through. So this is the topology that we are going to use. Basically, we're going to connect a PC to our wireless router using an Ethernet cable. We're going to connect the laptop to the wireless router using the wireless signal, and then a cable modem to the wireless router and using a cable. Then you are going to connect, right, the cable modem to the internet. Now, on the next part, it tells you specific address tables. So as you open them, you would be able to. So I showed that you can just simply click your devices and be able to do that. Give me a second here. Let me see. Yeah, I think they have an older version here. I thought I asked Caesar to I mentioned his name in the video. Yeah, I'm logged in. Yeah, my account's something funny. I just tested it like a few weeks ago because I want to make sure. And it was working with my Cisco. See, I have Cisco Academy. So you can learn more about packet tracer and, going through the modules up here. But it's not letting me connect my account on here. Because when I log in, you guys have the same problem? Okay. Okay, so if you are on the site, you can also download the PKA files, right, through Packet Tracer. So I had selected the Get Started with Cisco Packet Tracer. This allows you to access the curriculum. You can download the Packet Tracer itself. So I'm going to walk you to where I had gone. So I logged into Skills for All, but my account should also work. So I selected Skills for All. I logged into here, right? And in the middle here, you can see that there is Getting Started with Cisco Packet Tracer. Now, if you want to download your Packet Tracer to your laptop, right, you can scroll down and then you can go down and it will talk about how to install your Packet Tracer. But on the resources right here, you should be able to also do Packet Tracer download. They move things. Right, so it's gonna bring you back to that particular course access to be able to download, but yeah, I did. And I tried to access it with my account. Yeah. But this is like the third time that happened. Okay, good. It works. I wonder why Cisco Academy doesn't, I guess because of the version that we're using. So if you're using older version, you cannot use the other site login. All right. So you saw how you can have resources to Packet Tracer. Now, once you have access to your Packet Tracer, you can start dragging your icon. You have it already? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it did that to me too earlier today. So close that. I'm gonna try your login. Yeah, try logging. I did it like 4 times before it logged me in, so. Okay. Yeah, it was stalling earlier on my laptop. All right, so what you're gonna do is you are going to look for your wireless router and you simply drag it to your canvas. Okay, so your devices are gonna be right here. And then what you see is there's your router, right? And then what you do is you can also scroll. Let me see. You can also find, so it tells you to get the wireless router, and you're gonna place it onto, so home wireless router 0. So let me see. Click the arrow to the right, and my little zoom thing is blocking me, but you will be able to see your router and select your router and drag it. Let me see if I can shrink it. Hold on. Okay. I think if you go into the option, oh, maybe it doesn't let me. Yeah. Yeah, so if you go to the wireless devices, which is the 4th button over here, you'll be able to find your wireless router. This right here, this button on the bottom, so go to the 4th option from the left. You would be able to see your wireless router, and then you can select the WRT 300, or you can select the home router. That's up to you. And then we're just gonna label it like what you see on the diagram. So we are gonna call it wireless router. So double click it, and then you can rename it. Okay, I'm gonna turn my Zoom caption back on because share screen.
Yeah, that is under.
Okay, so like I said, make sure we select the wireless devices, find your router, drag your router in, and you can relabel this by double clicking your router name, and you can customize it. So the point is to make sure that you have a router, right? And then next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the same thing with the PC, the laptop, and then add the components accordingly. Okay, now if you access the course, you can download the PKTA file for the packet tracer and be able to have all of this preset, but you can manually add them. Okay. So to get PC, go to End Devices, click on the PC, drag the PC to the canvas. And if you put your cursor on each of the component, it actually gives you the summary of their settings. And then you can do the same thing with the laptop. So if you want, you can place this a little higher. I kind of want to delete this guy. And I think we can, you can click the X button at the top to delete if you're not happy with the device. So let me put my,
Okay, look down and look here around. Take a look.
sorry, I have my
Bro.
mouse is, as you can see, my mouse just, story of my life today. I lost connection with my mouse. Yeah.
Router. Oh, so yeah, go back.
Okay, so you would need to continue to add each of your device and link your cable. Sorry, I have something is going on with this PC. I'll probably have to switch to my laptop.
Yeah, but yeah. Like the next ball then.
Yeah, but it's not fully, that's my right monitor. That's a different, another desktop. So. Yeah, I'm on the, yeah, they had set up another desktop over here. Let me end my Zoom real quick. Let me see.
Yes.
Okay, now we're good. Okay. Let's drag your. So if you go through the step for each of these, you can actually click. So I'm gonna add my wireless devices again. And then you can double click these to be able to access them. So one of the things that the student tend to forget is you can turn them on and off with the toggle. So if you click it, you will turn it off. So make sure it's green for to turn on. And then you can go to the configuration mode. So let's look at the step. Now, once you have it on your workspace, right? Like what I did here, I added the router, I added the device. Once you have added it, then what you're going to do is you're going to go into the configuration and you're going to rename it. So read the steps. So back to my packet tracer. Once you double click it, it's going to open it up, and in the config mode, right? You can go into the setting information, sorry, to be able to rename or set up your settings for your actual router. So we want to change the display name right? And it tells you to probably have to select interface. So that's IP. Yeah, under setting, under global, you're going to type in, just take out the 0. It should be just wireless router. And then once we did step 18, then we are going to click on the logical workspace and we're going to click on config tab, which we are in. So you have the display name change. Then we are going to add the physical cabling. So you are going to select and add the physical cabling with the device. So now, once I'm done with changing the router's name, I can close the dialog box, right? And then I'm going to select the cable, which is the lightning bolt right here, which allows you to select the cable. Now the laptop to the wireless router, just make sure that you select, and you can choose the options that are listed right here. And then the PC to the router, we are going to make sure that we connect it with an Ethernet. So I'm going to do that first because my Zoom pop-up text is blocking. So because I'm connecting an Ethernet cable, when you click the cable and you click the device, you're going to choose the interface. So click Fast Ethernet. And then you are going to click on the device. And then you are going to connect it to the gigabit Ethernet. Now, because we are Ethernet to Ethernet, right? So it tells me that when it's orange like this, it's still pending. So you want ultimately everything to be green. Okay. So again, we're just going to select the cable, click on the device, select the Ethernet option. Then you're going to click the other device to connect to it and then select the Ethernet option. So I just went with fast Ethernet and gigabit Ethernet. Then I'm going to do the same thing for the laptop, and the laptop we're going to do the wireless. So we're just going to do, let's see. Yeah, so I don't think that you can really represent wireless because it has Bluetooth or fast Ethernet. So, but you just need to make sure that it's on. So, okay. Then we're going to add a few more. I think you have to add the server, right? Yeah, the server, the cable the server, the cable modem, and the internet. So server is in the end devices. We're just going to add that there. And you can rename it the same way. So double click it. Go to the config tab. And then settings. And then you can call this Cisco server, right? That's what it says. Cisco.com. Cisco.com, which is the DNS. And then if you want the cloud, then you can just click the cloud. Let me see if there's better representation. Yeah, I guess on the bottom, if you go network devices, so I just go select the first option on the top left, on the bottom here. I mean, the bottom left, the bottom left, and you should see the cloud emulation. So that can be your internet option. So that's like your service provider. And we can label it. You can do that in the config, or you can double click. Let me see. Yeah, it doesn't have. Did anybody find a wireless option? Am I blocking? Oh, there it is. I drag it.
You have to configure the wireless network.
Yeah, to get it to work. So you can't really select an option for it. So you have to configure it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it walks you through how to add these devices onto your workspace. And then once you have them, you would rename them accordingly, right? Like I changed the wireless router to wireless router, or wireless router 0 to wireless router at the PC. And the PC, it says that you need to connect the Ethernet cable with it. So you just need to be able to drop the PC and add the cable to the Ethernet from the PC to the wireless router. And then you are going to find the cable modem and add the cable modem, but the cable modem needs a coaxial cable. So the simulator allows you to draw the topology, but it also allows you to logically connect these together with the medium that you select. Okay? So So as you play with it, you can also add other devices and configure. So the whole point is to get you started with some of the devices that are simple, right? And then you can also add module to your drawing. Okay. For your wireless router, this looks like a Linksys, exactly like a Linksys interface. So what you do is when you go in and you configure, you're going to select graphical user interface, and then you are going to configure accordingly, put in the IP address, subnet mask. You're going to enable some options, so it tells you to go through and do the setup tab. Bye. So here, if I double click, bless you. I don't want the cable. Okay, so I have it connected to the cloud. Double click your router. So I dropped the cloud in the cloud, you can find that on the network devices and then the little cloud. Now, if you click the graphical user interface, this is what you see with the configure router packet section. So if you double click the router and click GUI tab, you should be able to see. So we're going to rename the SSID as home network. So when you get here, right, when you do the setup, and this router actually give you options to also set up like your VLANs and MTUs information. So So go to the wireless tab and then also in the graphical user interface, put in your SSID. Right here. SSID is default, so clear that out. We wanted to say home network. And then you would need to configure the wireless router connection, so internet connection, under the setup tab. I think it's default with the DHCP. And we can save the settings as we go too, so that way in case you want to make sure. Yeah, automatic DHCP option is already preset. And then we want to put in the DNS. That's the cisco.com that we're going to connect to. So we're going to put in this IP address under the preferred DNS. So I'm here in the setup tab of my wireless router, right? The static DNS, you would see that with the under the lease one. So DNS static one, put in the IP address that you see for that step F. Okay, so 208.67.220.220. Oh, you have to click in it. Okay, so once you have the IP in, you would save. So click save setting. And then you can close the wireless router. So each of the section, it walked you through on how to configure each of the system. So now I should have a static IP for the DNS, which is cisco.com. So next, I'm going to go and configure the laptop. So double click the laptop and making sure that you connect it. And add the wireless module. So double click that. Okay. And here's your Ethernet adapter. So what you can do is you can add in specific module for your wireless. So we need to add the wireless and it walks you through that here. So we need to remove the network adapter for the Ethernet and we would replace it with the wireless. So your network adapter, so the modules are listed right here, right? And then what you want is you want to drag. Oh, I have to remove this first. So you have to remove, bye, have a good one. You have to remove the actual Ethernet copper module and then replace it with the wireless module. Okay. Oh, we have to turn the power off, so make sure that we toggle this thing down. So click the power button to shut it down, and then you can drag the module back into the workspace on the left, and then you are going to drag the WPC 300 to it. So make sure we click the power off. Once you power it off, it's no longer green there. You take the Ethernet adapter and you put it into the left space, and then you pull the wireless adapter and you put it into the right space. So what I did was I turned this off by clicking the power button, and then I dragged the adapter to the left, and then I would select the WPC 300, which is the wireless module, and I plug it in. It's kind of like installing the adapter, the hardware onto the computer. Once you finish that, it would have the wireless, and that would be how it's going to connect. And then you click the power button on again, and there you have it. And that's in the physical tab.
Right.
See you. So once you install, you would then need to add, so on the wireless module install, the next task is to connect it. So on your desktop tab, we are going to select the PC wireless on, and then so click on the desktop, right? And you would see this. Then you are going to select the PC wireless. So this, we can click that. Go to Connect tab. And then,
A lot of places, imagery.
yeah, it's like this. So just select your home network, which is what it's detected. Right? So that should be 97%. So you notice it shows wireless N, right? Instead of, but earlier it shows some AC information on the default page, but yeah. So you see that this is like old technology. It's 802.11b, G, and N, right? It's only going to connect at single band at 2.4. They haven't changed. So, all right. So once you click so what I did was I went to the laptop, right? The configuration of the laptop, and then I go to the desktop option. It's kind of like selecting a button or a menu from your desktop. Click on PC wireless. Then you're going to click Connect tab, and then click here. So we are going to connect with the home network that we set up, and then we select Connect. Okay, so it walks you through each of those steps there. Then you do the same thing or a similar step with the PC, where you would obtain an IP address from the DHCP server, which is the wireless router. So now double click the PC. Okay. And it tells you that you need to go to your desktop tab and then do IP config. So in that, you can have an option to set it up to obtain a dynamic IP from the wireless router. So here I am, go to the desktop option, right? And then IP config. We're going to select a DHCP, and it's going to pull the IP address from the wireless router for us. and then we close. So again, on the PC, double click it, go to desktop at the top, go to IP config, select the HTTP, and that's how you obtain the dynamic IP. Next. You are going to verify your IP address by using command prompt. So on the same PC, you can close this, go to terminal. Oh, maybe not. No, I don't want terminal because that's how you can, command prompt, I'm sorry. Command prompt, and then do IP config /all. So the simulator is pretty good. I mean, it simulates an actual computer, an actual laptop, switches and routers for you. So now I see that I obtained an IP address from the DHCP server, right? So it matches up with the screenshot that's shown there, sort of, yeah, same.
Yeah.
I just have the 101 instead of the 102. You can attempt the step that in the next step will configure Internet Cloud Packet Tracer. If you are successful, great, right? But if you're running into problems, so I will attempt it right now and see if there's problems. So Internet Cloud icon. Oh, I see why they made a mistake.
Yeah.
They selected the wrong cloud icon.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you can be successful in this step. So in this section, you don't have to do it, but if you do it, just pay attention to the, you know how earlier I selected the internet icon, this one, right? Because I had selected network devices and clicked this. But in the case that if they click a different cloud, they might run into problems. So now you can see everything is green for me, right? That means I have connection. So once you configure all of those up until the end of part C, you should be fine. So we can attempt this. So it says to click on the internet cloud icon. In the logical, click on the physical tab. So we're going to go physical tab. And then we're going to add, let me see. We're going to install 2-module PT Cloud NM1CX. So this one, we're going to drop it in here. Oh, cannot. Oh, yeah, sorry. I keep forgetting to toggle the power off and then drag the C. I want to make sure it's the right one. The CX to the slot. And then we're going to repeat with the CFE. Okay. So once we added those, then we are going to go to config tab. Oh, I have to turn it back on and then go to config tab. So once you have that, you go to config tab and then we want to go and look at the cable connection. So click cable. Yeah. So I have coaxial 7 and 9, but unfortunately, I think something is funky with the adapter. Let me see. Yeah, you can't select the port on this side. Let me see with coaxial 9. Yeah, it's only letting you do it as a DSL, but not like other type of coaxial, because I think, yeah, you can't. So So we don't have to do that section. Then on your Cisco server, you just have to set this up. We already learned how to make a pool last time, right? And so if you can get here, that's good enough for me. But if you get to the end, that's a plus. I want you to get through. So the point is, right? I'm going to lead you to the water. And the more you practice, the better you're going to be down the line. So, you know, lab exercises is to help you get started. But you want to practice this. So I want you to have, you know, an understanding of how to configure these things. Okay. So now what we're going to do is my last thing that I need is my Cisco server here, right? And I want to be able to connect it. So I drag it and then I need to make sure I check my cabling. Give me a second. Yeah, it's Ethernet. So we're going to do fast Ethernet to fast Ethernet from the cloud to that. And so everything is good and green. Double click the Cisco server and it tells you to go ahead and click on the services. Oh, this is a web one. Yeah, and then DHCP. So I just simply double click the server, click on the service tab, and then here, remember that we talked about different roles for the server. So click DHCP, and then you would enter the information that's provided. So pool name, we're going to call this DHCP pool. The lowercase p. And then your default gateway. Let me see if I can copy paste. Will it allow me? So you can copy paste your IP or you type it in. And then my DNS. And then my range for my start. So it's going to go 208.67, 220. So 208.67.220, 220. And we're going to go from a .1 to 50. Which is not a good practice. This isn't your gateway one. Okay, never mind. I'll just do as instructed by Cisco. So, and then your subnet mask, you just type that in. So we're gonna do 255 dot and then tab 255 tab 255 tab 0. Maximum number of users, we're gonna do 50. So it's gonna go from 1 to 50. Take a screenshot. And you can save. So this is on cisco.com, the server. And then we're going to do DNS. I'll do DNS too. And for the DNS, it's pretty easy. We are going to make sure that the name. So for the DNS service, click it, toggle it on. And then for the name, we're just gonna do cisco.com. And it is a record because it's IP address to cisco.com. Or I'm sorry, cisco.com to IP address. And the address is gonna be 208.67.220.220, which is what we entered in the other system earlier. So we're gonna have the DNS, click add. So when you install DNS, it should create this, right? In Windows Server, it does that automatically when you go through the wizard. Take a screenshot. And then we are going to I already connected, but okay. So for it tells you click on Fast Ethernet on the left pane and config tab. So let me see. Yeah, it's under the config and then click on Fast Ethernet. So you're gonna go to config and then Fast Ethernet. And then for the interface, we're gonna put in the static IP. So it has a MAC address right here, right? Your static IP, you're gonna type it in where it says IPv4. So 208.67.220.220. And then your subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. Take a screenshot. I'll just do the last one too, so that way you finish everything. We're just gonna save the PKT file, and so that way you can put it on your USB and you always have it, and that's it. Okay? So we are gonna verify. What we're gonna do is we are going to use the Windows PC on the PC on the actual topology, and then we're just gonna renew to see if it's obtaining the IP address, and that's it. Okay, so I'm gonna close this, come back to my topology, open up the PC, right? I still have the command prompt. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do IP config renew and see if it pulls the new IP address. So it got the DNS server that I had put in before. Yeah, we'll probably have to put in the DNS server.
All right, correct. Or maybe the gateway also. Okay. Let me see if I have everything. So I have the DNS, the DHCP, But on the DHCP, we didn't have to put the default gateway. Okay, that works, I guess. Let me see if other commands work on it. Should. Yep, it pulls the DNS for NS lookup. But you just need to renew and obtain the IP address and C. And that should be the end of what you need to do, the end of part C. So if you get here, right, we're gonna save the file. So on your packet tracer, you can close all your configuration windows, come back to your workspace, go to File, right, Save As, and then I can just call this Lab 7, right, or CIS-40A Lab 7, whatever you like. You're gonna save it. Remember that this file is a .pkt file. You can put it to your USB. So if you save it to your USB, you can always import it into or open it in Packet Tracer. If you just click save, it's gonna default into the app folder. So make sure if you want to save it to your desktop or your USB, make sure you browse to it. Okay, so I'm gonna save it to my desktop so you can see. Now, in the future, let's say I close my packet tracer and I can open it, right? So you have to log in and then you're going to go ahead and click open file and then go to your desktop or your USB and then open it. And it should bring everything back. And it would take a second for all the systems to reestablish its connection, and you can always reboot those or reconfigure them. Okay? So that helps you. So in the future, we are gonna do. So if you want to do this extra part D, you can, right, for practice. And if you do, I'll give you some extra credit. Don't tell the others that then. Just kidding. Yeah, you can do them. I'll give you some points. Okay, so just add 5 PCs, a switch, and connect. Bye. And then connect them together. So that gives you some practice. So in the future, we're gonna do something similar to this. We're gonna add more. So if you want, you can create a new workspace, add them, and that's it.